Hi guys, it's me, Andrea. I will show you something today I did with my cleanup page here, where it was a lot of paint on it already, and I had paint there, big blobs of paint left. They're half dry, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then I took my brayer and blended it out on there, and yeah, that's what I do sometimes. And then I have a look at this and I turn it around from and look at it from different angles. Ooh, that's difficult to say. Yeah, and then I will have a look what I see in there. And here I saw on that left side on the bottom, I saw some mountains. And that's what I just do with my pencil here. I work out the silhouette and then go in with my pit pen to have it a bit more defined. And this should be the sea, that means the mountains are in the background at the sea. And I work here a lot on that page with my pit pens. The few I have left, the big ones, they are empty now. A lot of them are empty. I had a lot, but you can't buy them nowadays, so I already bought a big box of these smaller ones, and to replace basically my big ones. And you can see me using them here and using different blues, and here with dark purple to get my shading down. And this is my white big brush pit pen. You can still get these ones here. That's quite funny, isn't it? There is no white pit pen in one of the boxes, isn't it? I've never seen them. So ivory you can get, ivory you can get, but no white really. So, and what I do here, when I work on pages like this, I'm not thinking. I go just with the flow, and somehow the page dictates what it wants to be. And in this case, I thought there is the sea, and it looks a bit like through the mountains and with the white, like a bit like the Arctic Sea, and yeah, and I thought that would whale would be great in there. And because there's a lot of acrylic paint already in the background, it's difficult with my pencil. It didn't really work. I couldn't see the lines, so I used this big chunky. It's not charcoal. It is graphite, a graphite block. Very soft. It's 9B or 9B. Yeah. So, and it's very dark because of that. But the softer they are, the darker they get. So you can see it quite good on even on this darker acrylic paint. And as well, again, I use my pick pens here a lot and blend it always out with my fingers, going on a bit of white, a bit of here and there. That fuzzing around, trying to get it right, or trying to get it the way I like it. Let's say it like this. And again, with a bit of turquoise. So, and a bit of white, of course, a few dots here and there. This whales, they always have some of this. Now, don't do they have some of this muscles and shells on their skin? Sometimes it looks like so. First, I thought I would draw the earth on top of the back of the whale, but then I remembered I have this dies from It's Buildeth Scene or so it calls. I can't remember which company is that. X something dies, don't know. And there was this earth, and I used it, cut it out here on watercolor paper, and glue it all together. And on top there you can see the city skyline. I cut that out already, and I cut it to shape that it fits around this earth. It doesn't belong together, so I had to cut it in the right size. And what I do is I put, the earth is very colorful at the moment. the earth won't be colorful at the end. But I put some blues, turquoise, and greens down, and to the city even as well. Very, very bright and colorful paint here, the dilution paints. But now you can see I already start with the gray, and I will distress it a lot, and I will make it look dirty and used and awful. An awful place I don't want to live in. So that's what I wanted. Okay, glue down here on the back of the whale and the city on top, of course. I glue everything down here with my tacky glue from Malines, and that's actually, when I glue something down, then I use that one. That's heavy watercolor paper that glues best with it. It's a bit more difficult with gel medium, so that's why I use that. Go around the edges, of course, here with a black Pitt pen to define it a bit more, a tiny bit of depth. And there was something missing in the background, of course. I've done that once, not recently, month, 2 months, 3 months ago, I don't know, with the earth in the background, very big. Drew that down with my compass, and I do it here again, but this time it's the moon. And I went over here with the gesso to cover the background up, because I wanted to have the moon white. Of course, not completely white. I will put some grey into it later. But that meant I had to go around all these edges, and I went over the edges with the gesso. So yeah, I had to fix it later, and you can see I did that with my Pitt pens here. Very easy. Go over the white areas and blend it out with my fingers, and that's fixed then. So a bit. This is actually dry, hard bristle brush, very dry, and I dip it really a tiny bit into gesso and hardly touch the surface, to get this light white reflections down. So this is a sea sponge I use. What do you call it? Sea sponge? We call it sea sponge. It doesn't matter. It's a sponge, a real one, no synthetic one. Dab it here into grey acrylic paint and went over the white moon. Was a bit too much for my taste. Tried to get a bit of that grey off again with that sponge, but yeah, I use gesso again to get a bit more white around the earth and the city. It went all into the background, and wanted to definitely have it stand out a bit more. Of course, I messed all the edges up again, and I had to fix them again. But that's the process. That, I think, that you have to do that quite often on your pages, especially when you work like this. You haven't got a plan and you go with the flow. So, and I have to change here the shades, or I have to shade differently. The shadow, of course, is now coming. The light comes from a different area, so quick change here with my Stabilo All and the white Pitt pen. A bit of depth to the moon by going around here with this dark Pitt pen, blend it out with my fingers, and yeah, not a lot more, I think. So go a bit into the background here. I, of course, thought the background is far too, not busy enough. You can't say that. Nothing was going on. I didn't want to do stamping or something like that. So that's why I used the same dark Pitt pen here, and to let it look more like a foggy, bit fog in the background, moon is rising, and a bit of clouds, and that's what I wanted to achieve here, again with the white gesso, and on top of the surface of the water, a bit here and there. That's pretty much fuzzing around. But that's what you do, it should make you happy, and you should be satisfied with your page. So whatever it needs. Okay, we're coming to an end here. So, and these are my words. It will be next, please. And you know what I mean with that. I wanted the earth to look shabby and the city to look awful and used up. Everything should look used up. And then, oh, come on, we used one earth up. Next, please. But guys, there's only one earth. I can tell you. And yeah, I don't know if it's worth it to go on with all this polluting and all this denying. There is only one earth and the climate is changing and everything is going downwards. And I don't know what is it worth having a working economy when we can't use it, because our future, or our kids won't have a future and they don't need a economy anymore. So that's my opinion. But yeah, that's what I felt. And I like it. I don't like the theme, of course, but I like the page. And if you like it, it's a bit, yeah, depressing, is it? Yeah, it is. But yeah, it needed to get out. I needed to get this on the page. So, yeah, if you like it, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about that. And I thank you, Lord, when you're still with me. Thanks so much to watch my process. And I hope I will see you soon again. So have a fantastic time, guys. Bye bye.